Episode 3363, Striving for Balance.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous week. It is hump day, which I haven't said that in a while. I kind of feel like, well, we need to drink more water on hump day. Yeah, kind of like the camels. Okay, I know that's going too far and I'll keep my day job, but today it's all about striving for balance. Are you ready? For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. All right, well, you know we have a lot going on, and so I'm not going to bore you with all those details. What I am going to tell you is stay tuned right here on the podcast, as we are here every single day, and head on over to createyournow.com. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. We've got AIM opening up soon, and we are revamping the website, and guess what? We're going to have a way to talk to each other, and we won't have to go on social media. Whoop, whoop. All right, yeah, that is my Speed Demon 364, Create Your Now. All right, let's get into what really is happening in life, because in a world where the pursuit of work-life balance seems like the ultimate goal, you've heard it. It was probably a couple of years, it was just like that word, balance, balance, balance. It was in vogue. Everybody said it. But many experts argued that the idea of balance is merely an illusion. What do you do if striving for balance is not working for you? Because for most people, it's fun to talk at the cooler about how great life is and how well put together they are, right? But are they really? Are you really? Is living a balanced life a real thing or a myth? Think about it for a moment. Are you one who says, yeah, I'm living a balanced life? Or you're like, well, not really. For some, it seems like it's working, but for others, they get lost in the mess of life and don't even know if it's real, or they simply don't know about it because of the lack of time. They just keep going through the motions. They're just going through the day, not thinking about anything. They're just doing the responsibilities, getting their life done, hitting their head on the pillow, getting back, rinse and repeat. Well, Tim Grover, a renowned coach who's worked with legendary athletes like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, boldly claims athletes like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant didn't achieve unparalleled success by striving for balance. They understood that excellence requires an unrelenting focus and dedication that goes beyond what is considered balanced. Now, that's interesting. I've heard Tim Grover speak before, read a couple of his books, and it's very interesting when you listen to him. Number one, he's very down to earth. But number two, I mean, the greats like Michael Jordan. I don't care if you like basketball or not. I know we're coming off March Madness, Thought Madness, but Michael Jordan, you know Kobe Bryant, right? You've heard those names, even if you've never really understood or liked basketball. And their success didn't happen by accident, my friend. It did not. And a lot of times I think we look at people and say, wow, what a story they have. Their life, oh, it's just, if I could have their life. That's where I want to stop you. Because if you're saying that, whether it's looking at a reel, whether it's looking and comparing yourself to a great like Michael Jordan, and I'm not saying you are, but if you are comparing yourself, because comparison is a real thing too, right? We could be here forever talking about that. But if you are comparing yourself, are you willing to do what it took them to get to where they are? I don't care who you're comparing yourself to. It could be your next door neighbor. It could literally be someone that you don't even know, right? Someone who ends up in your feed. What is it for you? You see, that's where the water gets a little murky. You have to know the definition of what you define as balanced. What does that even mean? What does the word balance mean to you? Well, unfortunately, life is not about balance. Have you noticed life before? Have you been in it? It's more about how you ebb and flow in your life. The key here lies in embracing the concept of harmony rather than balance. Achieving a life that serves you well doesn't necessarily mean achieving perfect balance, meaning 50-50 or 60-40, right? It's not about that. It's about your presence in each moment and where your focus is in that moment. Do you think Michael Jordan was thinking about dinner when he was on the court? Like, seriously, I know that sounds kind of funny, but it's because I want you to think about it. When you're doing a presentation in front of a potential client, are you thinking about the dogs at home that maybe they really are missing you and you wish you were home? Okay, if you are really thinking about that and you can say yes to that honestly, contact me. You need a coach. I'm just saying. We'll leave it there. But most of us aren't, right? Because if you're playing in the big game of life, Michael Jordan's big game, Kobe Bryant's big game, UConn's big game. Congratulations, UConn. You played great. Amazing back-to-back finishes. If you played like them, would you be willing to put in the work that it took for them to get to number one back-to-back NCAA championships? Most of us, I'm sorry, I would care to even throw a percentage out there. 95% probably are not willing to put in the work. That's why you don't have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people wanting to be an athlete. They dream about it. Number one, you got to have the talent. You got to have a gift, right? You really do have to have some things. In order to get that, you got to work for it. You got to be willing to put in the time. And it's not about balance. So if balance is what you think you're wanting, consider discovering the world of presence. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Be present. A lot of times you're just going through the motions. You're living your life on habits. You don't think about your behaviors. You don't think about your tone of voice. You don't think about what the words you're using, the language that comes out of your mouth. You're not thinking about, gosh, am I really going to put my left foot forward first when I get off the bed or my right foot? Think about it when you get out of bed tomorrow morning. Which foot goes first? I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But if you are that hyper-focused, and Michael Jordan had to be one of those. Kobe Bryant had to be one of those. Or they would have never gotten to where they got to. And so sometimes I think we look at the other side thinking, oh yeah, I want to be like them. I want to reach the pinnacle. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do and put in the work? Well-being, my friend, is not about a certain number on the scale. It's making sure that your cells can work well. Everybody is unique. And if you don't look at your body and your mind and your spirit, how are you ever going to get to where you want to go? So here we look at wellness. And wellness is overall. It's an overarching. It's not about one thing. It's not about just exercise. It's not about just nutrition. And so here today, we're talking about presence. So I want you to think about this as, okay, if I know I can't be perfectly balanced in life, there's no 50-50 ever. There's no 50-50 in a relationship. There's no 50-50 with raising kids. There's no 50-50 with dogs. There's no 50-50 period. Okay, it's called harmony. And it's all about you being present in everything that you do. If I asked you to write your day down when you were ending, you got up in the morning and you write down your day, and the end of the day, I could sit there and read it. And I say, write down as many details as you can. What you wore, maybe even the facial expressions that you gave. Seriously, do you know what you look like when you get mad? That's presence, my friend. So I want you to think about this from a totally different perspective, the well-being of who you are and who you are becoming. So what does that look like where you can begin to fulfill your life and live out your dreams that align with your values and priorities? Number one, you have to prioritize self-care over perfection. Rather than chasing after this elusive ideal of balance, focus on prioritizing self-care and self-compassion. Take the time to assess your needs. Take the time to look at your boundaries, and don't be afraid to say no to things that might be draining to you. You know, some things for me, like me, getting around, talking to people, that is energizing to me. But for some, it just sucks the life out of people. So why would you volunteer for something that really doesn't give you life but sucks it away? Think about that. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for your overall well-being. Tim Grover said this: avoid the trap of living on autopilot and instead take charge of your destiny. Kobe, like all true champions, understood that living a life on purpose requires intentional choices and a relentless commitment to excellence. It's not about perfection. It's about excellence. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. That's the journey you're on, my friend. Number 2, embrace flexibility and adaptability. This is like yes, yes, and yes some more. In a world that is constantly changing and evolving, rigidly adhering to a strict notion of balance can lead to frustration and burnout. And a lot of times that's where we live. So instead, cultivate this mindset, what you're thinking. When I say mindset, that's kind of a buzzword, but it's the thought. It's, are you optimistic or are you a pessimist, right? Do you look at things from the negative point of view or the positive point of view? So here I'm saying cultivate. That means grow a mindset. Think harder from the perspective of flexibility and adaptability. Allow yourself to ebb and flow with the natural rhythms of life, adjusting your priorities and commitments as needed. Let me go back about now 12 weeks. And I got this text from my daughter. And I've shared this story, but it's a text that my in-laws have been in a horrific accident. Okay, that was life-changing. Not even a complete sentence. And it changed everything. Changed their lives, changed the in-laws' life, changed our life. And I had to immediately figure out, what am I going to do? But I also knew I had all these other commitments. So I had to figure out, I had to adjust. My friend, if I was such a rigid person, that would have never turned out well. But you know what? We're almost on the full other side. Praise the Lord for that. Life is a beautiful dance of highs and lows, twists and turns. So embrace that fluidity of your journey and remember that growth often occurs in moments of imbalance. When you really don't know what you really don't know, but you keep putting your foot forward. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. Number 3, cultivate meaningful connections and community. You know, cultivate, I love that word. It reminds me a lot of being in the dirt with my grandma and my grandpa. When I was much younger, they had this beautiful garden. And of course, I was little then, but I just thought it was humongous. To me, it was like a whole field. It really wasn't. Their house was beautiful. They lived on 13 acres at the time, and it's still actually in our family. But they had this huge garden. They would have fresh green beans, and they'd have watermelon and lettuce and strawberries. And I always remember going to pick the green beans and the strawberries with my grandma and my grandpa. I always remember that. And then I would get to come in and snap those green beans. And oh, they made just such a beautiful sound. Well, I think about what it takes to build a garden. And when you build a garden and then you put everything together, all the different things, the lettuce and the fruits, right? The vegetables, everything, and you put it in. Do you ever notice how beautiful it looks? It's so gorgeous to cultivate meaningful connections and community. It's a beautiful homegrown salad. Yep, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that's how I look at it. And it's all blended together so beautifully. Hearts entwined. So while the idea of balance may imply an equal distribution of time and energy, right? Because it does, across all areas of your life, true fulfillment often comes from nurturing meaningful relationships and connections. So invest in building a supportive community of friends, family, and mentors who uplift you and inspire you. Tim Grover says this: surround yourself with a team of mentors, supporters, and like-minded individuals who share your passion for living on purpose. Building a strong support system will fuel your motivation and drive you towards your goals, just as it did for Kobe. Are you willing to take that next step? Let me put this little whisper in your ear. When AIM opens up, you got to be there. I'm just telling you. I think I'm more excited. I think you'll be more excited. Living a life, my friend, that serves you well is not about achieving perfection and balance in all areas. It's not about perfect balance, but rather about finding harmony and alignment with your values and priorities, what you want out of life. So take care of yourself. Be sure that you are willing to be flexible and adaptable. And definitely make those connections. And remember that true fulfillment comes from honoring your unique journey, imperfections and all. Right? It's not impossible to live a beautiful life. It's I'm possible. Balance works when you are present in your everyday, giving yourself the opportunity to be flexible in every way. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.